Good morning, team. My name is Jay Sung, and we will begin our Dive AM for December 10th. Today we'll be going over cryptos and with a little bit of teaching. So let's go ahead and cover that. I did want to let you guys know I am having problems with my cord connecting to my cameras. I tried two different cameras and they were not working, so I definitely know it's a cord issue because my cord is showing sometimes it's charging, sometimes it's not. So after the class I will be going out and getting a new camera, so I do apologize. You guys may not be able to see me today, but don't worry, I miss seeing my face too. So I recently bought a mirror so I can also see my face in the mirror too. I love me, yay. Just kidding. Just having fun, guys. But let's go over some cryptos. And the first one, you guys should know if you're watching this on rerun, you cannot see the group chat, but it is there. And so I'll try to read out some of the most important ones on the group chat. But you can go ahead and just chat right there if you would like. You can also ask to unmute, and then after class, you guys can always unmute as well. Hey, Superfood. Hey, April. Good morning. And so today, since we have a little bit smaller class, as people trickle in, you guys can put your request in priority if you needed some priority, but we will go over those and build some charts live if you want to. Remember, we were looking at gold last night, and the projection we have for gold is up to $2,402 based on just the current data, which is from this run. And then I did want to let you guys know that. And then also last night we did have POLX on the watch list. That has a good price to it. And I just want to cover that in case you guys missed it real quick. Or from last night's class. POLX. I believe it was. And I just wanted to show you guys on KuCoin. You can buy it on KuCoin. This was the watch that we have created for it. It looks like we did this one on photos. And I just want to show you the picture of it. One moment. Here it is. Okay, so we were doing POLX. We were reading the story, and the major crux is here with a large arc as we have a change in behavior. There's not really much to beat after we beat this. However, price would need to beat a line that to get your confirmation, you would need price to beat these tops here. Okay. But approximately after that, you're really golden for a bullish move on POLX. And we have up to this leg on the table. So if you project this leg out, if we have the breakout from here, or if we it will be higher. But if we have the breakout and it comes down to sword cut, which I don't see that happening, but we can spike through just to get some extra strength. We can be having a large move up. And just to remind you guys of where that's at. It's this leg here, and I'll just show you that. And it's here at 0.0037 cents. So we're looking for the breakout above this line. It currently price is at 0.0007. So some massive potential coming up with great prices for POLX. So I did want to let you guys know that. If you're watching this as the rerun, this will be something that I'll be watching. We're waiting for a breakout above that line on the daily chart. Okay, so that one we discovered last night, I think, to Augie, so we want to thank him. But we will start with looking at USDT.D. Here's more confirmation of bullishness so far. Yesterday we had the pump up. Today we had the pump back down to this red line, which we've given you guys weeks and weeks and weeks ago, maybe about a month ago. Say POLX is 0.0008. Let's take a look. So slowly but surely, POLX is slowly going up, and we want that move above there for POLX. That's what I would like to see. You can start seeing more of that bullishness happening at the cores. Connect those two cores right there and draw it out. You can make it. Let's also make it a little bit red. We'll make it solid. Then you can click the extend line right if you want to, and shoots the line out like that, and you can see price reacting very well to those cores, but slowly piercing above right here. That's when we finally pushed above. Okay, you see how we went above that line? Here we couldn't beat it, here we couldn't beat it, here we couldn't beat it, we couldn't beat it here, here, and then finally we beat it. And now we should be sitting on top of this line, which is good. This could give us strength to get up to here. If it did it today, which I doubt, but the highest it would be is 0.001. Again, current price is 0.00078. Your exchange shows 0.00080. Yeah, about the same. So this is still some good potential, almost coming up to a cent. But oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put on that 0.0037. Let's put that line on here on a projection. So I'm gonna put a flat line. Let's just make a straight line, and then we're gonna choose. You can do this one of two ways. You can go to your settings, and then go to coordinates. So again, click on your line, go to settings, that little sprocket, click it there, and then you're gonna click on coordinates. Once you have that coordinates, you can actually come here to the top where it says price line bar 1. It's really the same. What you're going to do is you're going to type in 0.003, and it was 0.0037, so you can type 0.0037, and what it's going to do is it's going to move that line to there, so you can just bring the other one up to the level, and now you have a line that's at 0.0037. No, not that one. 0037. You can type both of them at 0.0037. 0037. All right, there we go. Sorry, I moved it up. That's correct. So 0.0037, 0.0037, and then click OK. I'm actually going to turn off that extend line right. See, you don't need that on. And then the other thing I do when I'm doing projections is I choose them this color right here. And then what I do is I make it dotted. So I come to the style and I choose dotted, and I make that really thick when I do dotted. Just so that reminds me that that's a projection. Okay. Then you can change your border colors here if you wanted. Make it the same, matching. 0.0037. And there you go. But that's something I do. That's a little trick we have there. Settings, your borders. This is how you change your border colors. Okay. All right. And then what we'll do is we will give this a date. Clicking your text, going to your text under annotations, you can make sure you hold it down, add it to your favorites if you would like to. Go ahead and do that. Okay, and then click on there, and then you can give it a date if you want to. POLX 11 December 10th. 2021 if you want. Patreon. For you guys don't have to do this part so much. You can mark down on your charts as you're following along the date if you want, so you know when you last updated that chart for you, if you guys wanted to follow along on that. But this will be good enough for me. I always take a screenshot so I understand what type of behavior I'm looking for. I'm looking for the breakout above and on that line. Okay, after that, let's look at XRP this morning in Bitcoin. Okay, XRP still had that rejection from yesterday on that same line that you had at the beginning, foundation. Okay, make sure you draw those out. So we're just waiting for that down move and some support, possibly. I'll break out above, but I don't like this setup right now. I'm actually looking for price to come back down, and we should be coming back down somewhere over here on XRP at 48 cents is what we measured yesterday. This is possibly a big down move, and I only see that happening if USDT.D is the one that goes up, which right now the data is pointing that there's going to be another crash, and it'll be soon, because when this one goes up, your cryptos will crash. So be ready for that, guys. Be ready. Okay, be ready for price to, it's already sitting on this line, so be ready for it to go up. We may not have many more days, unfortunately, but that could be some good crypto buying prices. And then Bitcoin, of course, Bitcoin has potential to hit its fire line. It's around the 33 to 34,000 area. This is the line here. I have it on one of my other charts, which I showed you guys yesterday. It's going to be here on Bitstamp, I believe. BTC USD on Bitstamp. BTC USD on Bitfinex. Hold on, let me get it for you guys. 1 second. I have 2 Bitcoins. There it is. Oh, no. But this is there's a maybe here. Nope. One moment, guys. How embarrassing. I did the same thing yesterday. I have Bitcoin in 2 different places. Might be this one. Launch view chart. Here we are. This line here is part of my star analysis, and it's a different layer, and it's a different type of analysis that I perform in conjunction with sword method. And this line is part of a reverberating effect. So sometime I expect price to come and hit this line, which is around right now. If it hit it today or this week, it's approximately 33,000. But this is a dynamic moving line. So if it hit it, just say like in 2 weeks, before December 31st, it can be up to 35,000. So somewhere between 33,888 and 35, I'm expecting price to move down here on Bitcoin sometime soon. And I'm not saying it could do it in the next 2 weeks. It can, but I wanted to show you guys this, what we found last night. We did, and we measured the previous wave down on Bitcoin because of USDT on that first move. It was about this long. So if you were to take that same length, and we did this after class, if we were to take the same length about from here to here, and if Bitcoin has another this much run in it, it would be, if it fell right now, it'd be approximately, again, 35,000, 33.88 to 35, somewhere around there, which is exactly where we would need to go. Now you're saying, why is that? Well, take a look at this. This is the reason why we did this. Here's the photo from yesterday. USDT has up to potentially here to go. But last time it moved up, it was exactly this length. So somebody asked me, how far do you expect Bitcoin to fall? And I looked and I said, well, how much room do we have left to go up on USDT? It's almost the same exact move that we went up. If price did it now, it would be just about the same. So I expected Bitcoin to fall just as far as it did. Okay, so here's XRP. XRP fell this far during that up move on USDT. So if XRP falls now, it could fall to approximately 48 cents. Just using that same math right there, that same measurement. And then Bitcoin, here's Bitcoin. So approximately the same level, around 35,000. Approximately. That's if it fell right now. So we're about the same length. If you say, well, that's how far we're gonna fall, because it's almost the same measurement. So that's you. Oh, is that April? Okay, good. Oh, thank you. Good. If you guys are watching the rerun of this, please pay attention to that. That's pretty important. Okay, and then we saw silver on the monthly chart. We calculated this one pretty well after class. Seeing supports here, changing behavior, and then here we calculated all of these points on the monthly chart, and that gave us some potential for silver based on just current data up to $65 around there, just on current data with this. But there's other movements within silver in a shorter term. On this chart right here, we calculated up to $40. So there's going to be some moves at 40, 60, and I think there was one actually even higher. Here's on the weekly chart, a little above 52. So you may be seeing some profit taken at 40, and then moves at 52, and then one again at up to 62. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see profit taking at those levels. Of course, if we get some kind of major money reset, we can be going into that area. Hey Jay, do you think it's a good idea to short DOGE? Let's take a look at DOGE. I'm so glad you asked. Oh, and then I also wanted to tell you guys, I did perform this star analysis on gold last night. And this one checks out. There are some resistance levels at 1960 here and 2070. So I would expect some resistance levels after performing a full star analysis after class. I did this I was giving an example, even though I don't really teach this, it's a little bit advanced, but this is how it looks. And so for gold, if you want to take a screenshot so you know where these resistance levels are in advance, they are 1960, 2070, and then there could be another support here when price comes to this angle. But let's look at DOGE. Okay. All right. At the moment, I wouldn't count DOGE out just yet. Okay, there are two support lines that we can see, and it looks like maybe maybe this one has already been hit, and this one's coming up. But these are two lines based on infinity angles. This one should actually be a little bit lower. There we go. This one should be a little bit higher. There we go. Here and here. And one of them was already hit exact. Okay, yeah. This one. Price came all the way down, hit it. So the next one is this one right here at 1644. So it's possible we may get a big move down because we're underneath the sword cut and we should have bounced up right here. But if we don't go down so far after this, then that means that we're still bullish. There is a saving grace right now, and that's this big white line here. Okay, so if we were to draw this line, and if I were to draw this solid for just a sec, you can see it, or I'll draw it big in yellow. Here we go. See this yellow line? just to highlight it. I'll change it back, but it's colors. But this is the line that's holding price up. And depending on how strong it is, we should get a movement up. However, the last time we got the move on that white line here, we moved all the way up through all of these resistances. See this white one, this green one, this red one, and sword cuts. But then we still came down. And now price came to this yellow line one more time. And we're underneath the sword cut. We didn't have a change in behavior. So generally, this would be a sign of weakness. But the reason I'm not so convinced that I would say it would be wise to short DOGE is because of the weekly chart. Let's take a look. On the weekly chart, we came down to major support. See this dashed line here? And on the weekly chart, we are still bullish and on the opposite, on the positive side of these main waves. So you got your wave up, came down, wave up, came down, wave up, breakthrough, and now we're sitting on the line for the first time, really. Well, we sat down here, I should say. But now we're sitting on this line with a hard close above. So when you see that, generally that means the next candle will be up. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. You can see it really clearly here. So I wouldn't count DOGE just out yet. We may get stuck, yeah, in this area a little bit, and it can be bearish, but don't take your eyes off the larger picture, okay? And this is on the weekly chart. So go ahead and draw that top, and then draw it out. We are on the positive side of that. So I wouldn't count DOGE out. To me, it would be dangerous to short DOGE and count DOGE out, okay? Do we have any special requests? Otherwise, I'll go down a list. I want to look at Atom. I want to look at ALGO. Okay, thank you, Jay. What do you think of GRT? Okay. Right, USDT.D, POLX. Right now we just looked at which crypto was I just looking at, guys? DOGE. Okay, DOGE. And you want to do GRT. Okay, yeah, we can build GRT. Since I'm here looking at ALGO, let me just look at ALGO real quick. ALGO on a weekly chart is still bullish. I'm still bullish. I still believe we're going to be hitting this target of 478. This is on a weekly chart. This is your a support line right here. These two tops, connect those two and draw it out. We are still on the positive side of there, as well as on top of this blue line, and it's coming to a head. What is this blue line? The blue line is the cores of the weekly chart here. This one actually should be just right there. There we go. And connect them to these cores here. It should be just a little bit lower. There we go. I'm connecting these cores here without crossing any of the other cores. Core, core. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot of this and then recreate that line. That's your most important line at the moment. And this is your big wave up, came down, big wave up. And we're coming to this line again. We need to beat this line for us to get that bullish confirmation. We have not beat that, and we need to really beat it on the weekly chart. Okay, we need to get above that line, and once we do, based on projection, you're going higher. God bless you. Okay. Now with that, let's look at GRT. All right, so what is GRT? I have no idea, but we're gonna build it because I know I don't have a GRT. We can't build it on Binance. We can build it on Coinbase. Let's just build it on Binance, on USD, if possible. Binance USA. I don't really like those options. I like to draw it on KuCoin if possible or something. Maybe we can draw it on KuCoin. Kraken. Ah, here we go. Look, GRT USDT. Let's do. I'd rather use USD if possible. Okay, here we go. GRT Bitfinex. Let's do that one. And the reason is because one day Tether's going to fall and I don't want to have to redo all my charts. GRT USD. Here we go. All right. I don't have much data on the weekly chart, which means I'm not going to have much data on the daily chart. So I want to keep that in mind. Salud. But with that said, I'm going to draw on the weekly chart. I mean on the daily chart. All right, here we go. Let me double check to see if Bitfinex is just new and there might be more data. GRX USD T. What? GRT, sorry, GRT. GRT USD. If I did Binance, this might be more data. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to use Binance just because I get more data. So now I can go back to the weekly chart and I have more data. That's what I want. I want at least that. So yeah, I take it back. We're gonna use Binance. I'm gonna add this to my watch list. I mean, to my watch list on this chart. 1 second. GRT USDT Binance. Okay, good. Oh, USD. Gosh darn it. GRT USD Binance. There we go. Okay. Now, let's draw it. GRT USD Binance. What I'm going to be looking is to find key points in the story. The first thing I'm going to do is take a picture of this. Okay. Now that I have my picture, so you understand, I'm taking a highlighter and we're going to draw the major flows. Up, down, up, sideways, arced down. Move this way, move up, down, up, and down. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting some of these tops, such as here, here, and the lowest point in between those 2 points, which is here. We're going to be drawing angles at those tops, the very, very tops, which are called wicks, and also at the very bodies of the candles, which are called cores. These ones right there, where the body closes. Sometimes we're going to draw a line connecting those 2 points, and those lines are going to go right into infinity. And when they do, they become infinity flats. So for example, if we take a trend line and we draw it out, using our pen tool, we can use a pen if you want. That line is going to go in infinity. And also, we're going to connect those tops. So if you take this is a little off. Let me try again. There we go. Now what I'm doing is I'm connecting the very bottom of the body of the candle. Not the top yet. And then over here, I'm connecting the very bottom without crossing over any of the other ones. I didn't do it on this part right here, because if I did, I would be crossing over the body of here. And generally, if you're drawing cores to cores, you're drawing one core to another core. You don't want to cross over 2 bodies. Funny you mentioned Tether. Just saw John Perez and David Morgan's 8-part series on the Crypto Conspiracy podcast mention how Tether and Bitfinex are the same owners rigging the system. Oh my gosh. Yep. You can see collapse of all this junk, all this nonsense. Yeah. It's weird because like we're trading like hot potato. Once we have this angle, we're going to take that angle and we're going to bring it to the core levels of here without crossing over. So there's 3 cores here. I'm going to show you where they are. Here, here, and here. The core that we're going to get without crossing over, and the widest core we can get. I'm not going to do this red one because look, I'm crossing over these 2. So that's wrong. I'm not going to do this one because I'm crossing over that core right there at that same foundation. So that's wrong as well. It's actually the last core we get without crossing over this one. Okay, this is the body you can draw without crossing over. Okay? And then when drawing, just draw on the underside of the line. That's going to give you the best line. So you put the ruler right about there, oops, and draw it out. And that should be good enough. Okay, so we're going to do that and draw it out. Now, why are we starting way back here? We're starting way back here because it's part of the story and reveals a lot of the secrets. Okay, it's going to tell us if we're doing this right or wrong. The next line we're going to draw is in between the middle of here and here, which is approximately right there. That's the middle, and you're going to draw it out. Okay. All right. Now, what we're doing on this fascinating series to hear lots of dots on what we talk about after dark hours. Yeah, I know, right? J-Song After Dark. What we're doing is we're looking for some verification that price was reacting to the middle area, which is the mid phantom. This level here is your phantom angle. You can only see it if price if you drew it. That's the only way to see it. Now, price crosses over a few points here, and this creates new shortcuts, and I'll show you where they are. The first level we're going to draw is this one goes into infinity at these cores. So generally what happens is those infinities have to have a resolve. This line has to resolve because you have buyers and sellers, and buyers who are losing money and they just want to break even, and they break even at 2 sources. They break even at the core, which is where, at the source and where that line started, and also they want to break even at the exit. So 2 points. The source and where you started drawing the line, and where you last left off on the line, which is there. Those 2 points become flats, and you want to draw them because they start telling more of the story. So if you take a line and instead of going straight out like that angle, you just turn it all the way to 0 degrees and go to that body where you drew it and draw it out, it starts telling some of the story. Okay? So some of the clues start coming together. Then you're going to draw it out again here where you last left off, and there you go. So now you have your first parts of the story starting to unfold. For example, once we came below here, price came up to that area and hovered underneath, came up again to that area and came down. When we first went over here, we broke above, price came back down all the way to that area right there. And when we finally broke under the level, price came up to try to break through that level and had a very difficult time breaking through. It did pierce it once here, but it came back down and it was biding its time. Here, here, here. You can see price reacting multiple times. And that's part of the story of the health. And this is how you read price behavior, okay? Because we're going through it right here, it's not respecting it, so don't expect it to hold because it's losing a lot of strength. Once you get past a certain amount of time, it loses strength, okay? But just so you know where those stories are. There's other lines and other areas where price reacted, and we need to be aware of some of those areas. The other area where price reacted was here, and where this line cut through. This is mid-phantom. This middle line is called mid-phantom, and it cut through the candle about this wide. So it's about from here, and I'm going to show it to you. It's going to be about this wide, starting there and leaving this wide. So on price action, we would actually draw a thicker line, and we'll make a, what is it called, a rectangle. I just draw a highlighter. And then you can draw this out because this creates a new shortcut. So, for example, we can take our highlighter tool and draw the shortcut color, which is orange. Okay. And we can draw a little bit thicker line, but we're going to draw that line out. And it's about this wide. Okay. Now, draw that out so you kind of know where those areas are. But we already had a reaction when price was deciding whether it was going to break this one. When we came down, we came all the way down to here and came all the way back up where? To exactly that line. Twice. This was your signal that price is ready to go down because we didn't break above. Once we rounded off here, you would have known and had confirmation around this candle that we were able to go down. And we certainly did go down. Okay. And we broke through the line that tells you this is a little bit weak. Okay, but that's part of the story. The last part of that was part of the story was this line here, your phantom angle, which also cut through. And it cut through at the same line as this one. So what does that tell you? Well, to me, that's very important. If you're watching GRT, that's very, very important because you have double confirmation. You had a cut here and you had a cut here at the same exact level. And that tells me that this sword cut can now be upgraded to a red because it's more stronger. So I would take a red line and I would draw it there because this sword cut is already double strength. And it hasn't really hit after a wide swing, but that tells me that if price ever does come up to this line, if we did something like that, I would absolutely expect resistance. So if I was looking for a spot to short, I would be shorting at a little above 160 was about 170. About 170, I would be looking to short this GRT. Current price is 68 cents. I wouldn't be looking for a jump above because we already have, I wouldn't be looking for a jump above like that because we already have double confirmations. So that just reinforces those lines. And would we expect price to come up? Yes. Yes, we would. To that line. Why do I say that? First time I saw you drawing a red sword cut. Yes, that's called, it's an upgraded sword cut. When you get multiple confirmations, you're going to see sometimes you draw, I have like a thick blocks that look green. Those were upgraded sword cuts to support. But if you see it like a red, that means it's upgraded from a resistance. Now take a look at this. The last places we left off in the story was here. Okay, so this is an important point. We're going to use that same reaction point and we're going to continue out the story to see if there's more to the adventure, which there is. And the next one, if we were again reading our flows, the blue lines, okay, we got a move from here down, then we went to here, then we went up, and then we came back down. So we're now gonna measure these two spots from here to here. Let's connect them and see if we get any other confirmations. Okay. We're going to start with wicks since we're going to do cores since we were doing cores last time. So let's erase this just a little bit to see where the core is at. Ah, there it is. And we're going to take that very thin core right there. And we're going to draw a line from there to this top of this wave. The highest point without crossing over any of the other cores, it's actually this one right here. Okay, see this one? If I were to draw it from here, I'm crossing through these cores. This one I'm crossing through this cores. And generally you're trying to choose the one that's not crossing through the other cores within that same area. Okay, that's how I know the answer is actually this one right there. Okay, so let's connect those two dots. It's as easy as connecting the dots. Once I have those dots, you draw the line. And provided I drew fairly accurately, we are sitting currently on top of these lines. See how price is right on top of that? One would argue we're a little bit low, and we'll find out the truth once we actually draw on price, but I'm showing you the major lines. But now that we have this angle, we are going to come back down to the lowest angle of cores without crossing over any of the other cores. It's not going to be, I don't think it's this one, but it's either that one or it's going to be something like that one. So which one crosses over? It's not this one, because look, all those cores, it's not correct. And it's not this one because we left some of this one out, just a little bit, so that's not correct either. It's actually that middle one, because this is the one where we don't cross over any. So that gives us our channel. All right, and of course, where's the mid-level? So that's our phantom right there. That's our phantom line. This is our angle. This is our phantom, and the mid-phantom is about 50% in the middle. All right, what do we see now? More of the story unfolding. Okay, and secrets coming out. The secrets are being exposed of price action, what it's telling you. Now, I will let you already know. This infinity angle we drew from that middle one right there, okay? So this one becomes an infinity flat because it just goes out into infinity. As price was going up, this line was increasing in strength. So this line becomes flat. People want to break even at this level here. Okay? So we can draw this. I'm going to draw this like as green for right now, okay? So we draw that flat straight on. So we know now there's support in this area. There's one support. Okay. The next is that the infinity become the next levels we're going to look at is where price crossed over because a new support was created, and that was through this candle. It crossed over here and it left here. So it gives us, I'm sorry, it left approximately there. So that gives us some of the behavior to be revealed. Okay, and I would like some verification for here. And we only got a little bit, but it's there. So now you can see when price broke below this area, why we got stuck underneath here for 2 weeks. Because again, this is on a weekly chart. So everyone's wondering, well, why did we get stuck here and why did we come down to this line? You had all of that data just from these two lines. You had all of that. You knew why price was getting stuck when everyone else was like, I have no idea what the heck is going on. You knew, you had all of those lines. Okay? And you knew when there was a change of behavior, it was here at this candle. When price broke above, you knew there was bullishness. But right now, we have a nice arc and we're building part of the larger story, which is a change in behavior. Okay. We had resistances and you knew where those resistances were. So when you had a bullishness, you had an exit again because of your foundation. And this, yeah, right there to there. Really, that's where it should be at. Okay. Now there's one other thing I wanted to take a look at. And in addition to these lines, there was infinity angles that were drawn. There was also angles we can draw based on the wicks themselves. Okay. But I also want to check those because those angles would be, and I'm going to draw this right now as like, let's draw a different color. Let's draw blue, okay? No, let's draw purple, okay? We connected those cores, but what if we were to connect the wicks? Will we get any verifications? If I'm not seeing those verifications, I just ignore it. But I'm also going to draw them. And this time I'm going to draw a little bit really quicker because I just want to show you the concepts of how this works. And I'm going to see if I have any verification. So right now I'm working through the same thing I just did. Same areas here. Good, 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 good. And now I'm going to, so I won't change any of those lines because they crossed almost the exact same area. See, cross, and they crossed through price in that same general area. So that's going to be something. But now we're going to take those reactionary points, and now I'm just connecting these as wicks and seeing if I see anything worth noting. Oh, wow, I'm getting some of those same angles, but on the bottoms it's going to change some of the story. All right. Now, this one may look just a little bit confusing, but I'm doing the same analysis that I just did. Flats and price crosses over right there. Good. All right, this is more the story. This is actually more verified. And it's also going to give me infinity angle there. All right. So with this one, I did the same analysis we did in slow motion just a little while ago, but now I'm doing it by using wick to wick to see if I get more of the story, because we only know to either draw on core or wick based on verification. So if you're only focusing on just the purple lines, right, and we were just ignoring, just like we are ignoring these other ones, we also get resistance at this purple line, although not exact. I will say this. When this purple line crossed over, it crossed over right here, we were able to draw that as an infinity flat, and you got price that reacted very, very accurately. We came all the way down to here at the same intersection. And then when we came down, now we know why we stopped on the purple line here. Boom. So not only did you know the channel, but you knew some of this support was in advance as well, because you had that same data available to you. So putting it all together, what I see is that these purple line and this yellow line are pretty much approximately the same. I would expect bullishness in this area currently up. I know that seems like a little bit a lot, but you don't always have to draw both the core and the wick. You don't always have to, because that can look a little bit confusing. But if you go step by step systematically, you can start seeing if you should be more paying attention to the cores or you should be paying attention to the wicks. I would venture to say you can get by on this chart without doing the yellow, without doing the cores, and just do the same analysis but only doing wicks, which is actually even easier. So if you were to delete everything and just have your purple, you would have that. But for right now, I'm going to save both of this. We're going to have that. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that again quickly one more time, but this time on real price itself, and then we'll move on. So you can just watch how I do this. I'm gonna have to use pitchfork. Gosh darn it. One moment. This is not a pitchfork tutorial, but it's the same principle. Good. And again, this was extended out and upgraded. What I'm doing is seeing where the white line cut through price and where it exits. So that's how we know the width of this sword cut. We're going to change that color to red. All right. So we see the reactionary points, and I'm expecting one more at this level. Draw it out. Actually, could be longer. It could actually be at this red line right there. See how price went through the red line right there? That's where we want to change the width of this line. So bring that down. A little bit further. A little, went too much. Come on. And there we go, perfect. And this was also perfect as well. Okay, now that we have that, let's draw the next little set. Ooh, this is interesting. Oops. I drew this incorrect. One moment. Try again. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry. We were drawing wick, weren't we? Yeah, that was the major support. So we're gonna draw wick. I want to get accurate. So make sure your lines, you zoom in sometimes. You have to do that sometimes. And get it on those lines. Good. And I'm connecting, making sure that that line hits where it needs to hit. And it did, you can see, like that. Did you talk to me, darling? Dang it. Bring out the fork, baby. Yeah, dang it. Did I talk to you, darling? What do you mean? I'm talking to everybody in the class. Okay. And then price crosses over right here. Okay, so that becomes your new sword cut. Right there. And this can be orange. Okay. And then this becomes your infinity angle, the lowest level, which could be here and here. These ones are both the same, so I'm not sure which one will react, but I'm almost sure it's going to be this one. And we did have one reaction already. This one we are not going to make, we're going to make sure we turn off extend line right. Okay, and because I'm not sure which one is going to hit, when you have these lines that are, you have two of them, just draw both of them just in case. Oops, hit the undo. Because both of these hit, so just draw both of them. You won't go wrong. And there you go. This is basically everything you need to know. Drawing this a little bit more accurately, we can see that price is on the underside of this wick, which is a little bit bearish, but we could have done it just for the purpose of sitting on sword cut. But generally when you have these wide arcs, that means we're going to have a round up. But this is a little bit fishy to me. Okay, it is a little bit fishy to me. I'm going to just draw a single trend line at the cores and see what I can see. Okay, so if you connect core, we still have the bearishness. It's a little bit. We should have sit on top of this, but for price to not set on top of that line, we're stuck on top of support and underneath the resistance. That's why this week we haven't gone above both, because we're in this little no man's zone. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so I think I spent enough time on GRT giving you guys the tutorial about what I see on price action. And from there, what we're going to do is we're going to watch, and we're going to watch price. There's another resistance. I'm just going to connect these two bottoms at wicks and see what we can, and point that out to you guys. Okay, just be aware of. I'm going to make these like level 1 thickness, and I'm just going to make it little. Just leave that out here so you can see some of that story. This may or may not come into play. Connecting cores, cores here. Okay. It's all stuck, but some resistances. Be aware of this. At the moment, I don't have clear support just yet. We have some signs of weaknesses. So what that means is I would be expecting a break above these areas here, which is these two tops. Connect the top of here, the top there, draw it out. This one I'm going to make it red and a little bit thickness so you can see the importance. We need a breakout, clear breakout above here before we can come up to $1.60. Okay, and then if we do that, if you get above, then that means the change of behavior was here. You have potential. You have potential up to there, right there. I'm doing the projection with my fingers. One moment. There, $3.11. This is me doing that triangle thing, but just with my fingers. When I give you guys projection levels like we showed you earlier. Actually, I didn't do any tutorials on the projections. That was from yesterday. But I'm just doing this real quick for you guys so you can see that money, this angle right here, measured out. If we get the breakout, we can be getting $3.08. So that's pretty good potential. Current price is 70 cents, but we wouldn't get the breakout until we get above red line. So I'm going to take a couple pictures. That one. And this one, so everyone can see it. And combine those with the other pictures we already drew. Let me draw one more with the breakout. We would need a move above here. And then we would need another move above this area, okay? Price can either reject at this area, or we can have bullishness at that area. Okay. We don't know what's going to happen, but most likely we're going to reject the first time, hit another, create another support, probably around that top and that top, which would be approximately, and then I'll give you dates for this as well. Approximately on top of that line. We are looking at a move from this. If we got the breakout, we would be looking for a breakout before April, probably end of February. Before, it's possible we can get it before. And then the move up would be approximately 1, 2, 3, up until May. Okay. We actually may have a breakout just a little bit sooner. Yeah, right at the turn of the year, because price may need to make a decision. As this is coming to a head, price will need to make a decision. So yeah, before the end of year, before the end of the month, price will need to make a decision. And if we get the breakout above, then that would increase the time. One moment. Here to here, that's going to give me approximately this length. So it'd be a little bit before May, actually. I should say that. There we go. Okay. Any other questions about GRT? This is a full analysis for GRT. Let me see this. Did you talk? I thought you mentioned my name. Oops, sorry. So when two wicks touch and draw out both, which is the stronger line, or both, you're looking when two wicks touch. Okay, I think I know what you mean. The last two yellow lines you did. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. These infinity flats. So we created them here, and when it came down and two wicks touch You could say that it creates a stronger line if price takes a longer time to come out. It does, because you had buyers who lost money. I'm sorry, you had sellers and people who shorted who lost money, and then more sellers and shorters who lost money. So they're going to break even on this. So yes, when you see multiple lines on those, it reinforces those lines. One of the things that it does, in fact, it reinforces the infinity flats too as well. But one of the things it really does is, if you're seeing the line being penetrated a lot, it weakens the wick. And it still exists for the core. So if I saw like price doing this, just for example, if I saw it penetrating, let me use my pen tool. The wicks were going down, and they were like, some are here, some are there, but the cores were still not going through, right? Just the cores were doing that. Then all it's doing is it's strengthening the cores. But if you were measuring from wick to wick, you may not want to measure wick to wick after that, because your wicks are not penetrating anymore, and your cores will still hold. But if the cores hold on that same line, then you have wick, core, you have wick, core, 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 and that's fine, as long as your eyes can see it and see the pattern behind all the noise. Your eyes can see, hey, even though we're doing wick, core, wick, core, wick, core, just draw the line. That's the most important thing, to draw the darn line. I will say draw the darn line, because that line absolutely exists. Ooh, people are going to think these are connected. I don't want to do that. Like, ooh, what's this line? It's just for dates. It's for dates. Okay. Any other questions, GRT? Did we have any other requests for today? Otherwise, we'll continue going down. What's our time? 1 hour. I'm gonna get some water. Is it just an infinity flats, extra safety nets? Yes. They act like a safety net. They do, and the reason, and some of the safety net you're getting, they act like shortcuts, to be honest. And if you see reactions at the other levels, I can almost guarantee you're gonna get a response out of those infinity flats. For example, okay, let me just take a quick duplicate of this picture, okay, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so just say we're only looking at this green angle right here, okay, the angle that started this part of the reaction. Just say the green. Okay, so we're looking at these angles. Make them really thick, just for following along's sake. Okay, these three angles. The first one was the angle. I'm sorry, we won't use that one. We'll use the mid phantom. Okay, mid phantom has verification, and when we crossed over, we saw that price arced over very nice and came and sat down exactly where it should. Enough to break through. So that's some strength, okay? That's really strength. So now that we have the reaction here at that first mid-phantom level, we know that we're going to get it again at the last one. But one could argue it's also here. So because we had a support at this flat, that increases the chance that we're going to get support at this flat, which we already did in one way. So some would say that's exhausted, because look, we had the support there, which is this flat. One could argue that this was the correct way to draw it. Really, they're both the same, or which one's going to have more support? I would say, don't argue, draw both. I would increase the chances that this would become a support. In fact, if you wanted to, you can change that you can change that yellow line and make it green if you wanted to. Just so you're like, oh yeah, this should be going up. Otherwise, just draw everything in a little bit off-white. But I would say that it's very likely that price will come down to that area and bounce exactly, even just for a little bit, because we already had previous bounces at the other infinities. Okay. Now, is this one going to hold this time around? We already went one last time. Will it hold this time? I don't know. I don't see why it wouldn't, but this line would be the one that would push it down. So we need to know if this is going to be bearish. It's just fishy to me. It's probably manipulation, but it's also probably due to the Bitcoin situation. So that's something to take into account. This is a weekly chart. What happened this week? We had the Bitcoin crash. If we didn't have that big crash, what would have happened to this chart? Think about it for a second. What would have happened to this chart? Well, we went up and pressed through for a reason of that line. Okay, we went up for a reason. So there's a chance that the Bitcoin whole thing, tether manipulation, is a fluke to push prices down. And that means that there's a higher chance that next week price will just phase through and just do something like this. Just phase through, go off to the side, and then do what it was supposed to do the whole darn time. Make a candle and go up. But now it pushed it back. Now we have to beat through this line here, rather than just continue on our merry way and our merry way up, possibly rejecting off that line. So that's something I want to take into consideration: manipulation. That might explain why we're still stuck on an area, and that's why I was like, that's fishy. That's not really right? That's not proper behavior. So be aware of that. That could have just been the whole Bitcoin thing. And looking at the daily chart and then looking at the volume, I mean, that was the day Bitcoin went all the way down. So it just pushed it back. I would say that I don't see really, let me see if they're selling in this area. Yep, they're selling up to that area, but not the big crash. And you can see it here because we have this super wide up bar on ultra high volume, but the next bar is down. How is that possible? The next couple bars are down, but then they went down on very low volume. So that means there was some selling in here, but we should have only got back to this far. We shouldn't have gone all the way down here. I don't think that's right. I think that's all part of the same day that Bitcoin crashed. Okay, any other questions about that? And on the daily chart, you can kind of see, yeah, we are building a case for here. Is there selling in these two bars up and down? Let me see. Ultra high, a higher up bar, but the next bar was also down, so there still could be some selling, people getting out. But because we're still below average, I mean below the average line right there, this white line right there, that's important. I wouldn't say this is very, very strong selling enough to push it down just yet. I wouldn't say that just yet. Okay. Otherwise, we'll do two more, and then we'll be done for class. I want to look at Adam real quick. If you guys have any more requests, you guys can put them. We'll build them for you live, or I'll build them for you live. Have we looked at Safemoon for a while? No, we haven't. You want to look at Safemoon? This one's a little expensive right now. Great pick, April. Superfood says, great pick, April. Yes. I agree. Yeah, let's look at Safemoon. Let's see if it's in my watch list. Safemoon. Here we go. Type it in. Safemoon. I might have to look it up on an alternate chart. Let me see if I can pull it up using that same chart as last time. Here's Empire as well. We are now crossing through back to these here, but there are infinity angles here and here. Also, your underside of your underside of this line is important, and we're still there. So there's some still hope that there's support right on Safemoon. Just so you guys, I mean on Empire, in case you were wondering. To refresh this page to reset my screen. Here we go. Oop. Okay. Safemoon. Oh, Safe DOGE. Safemoon. I might not get it on CoinTiger. I'll have to pull it up on a different exchange. Let's see. When was the last time we did Safemoon? Safemoon. 11/1. Okay, so we did it on this exchange, USDT. I had to draw it with pictures. Okay. We had potential up to 0.00012 on A. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this picture and I'm gonna save it. This was on a daily chart on BitTrue. Okay, let me save this image real quick. Okay, possible zone B, possible zone C, and possible zone D after we had some action with B. But these was what I was looking at that time, based on here and here and the reactionary points. Okay, let's see what we got. BitTrue. Give me a moment. I'll need to log in or pull up a chart. Not on TradingView. Get out. Safemoon. All right, daily chart. Okay, let us pull up a wider full screen. Okay, somebody was telling me. Oh. Hold on. Gosh. Come on. Refresh. Maybe refresh. Okay. Those tools. Full screen. Not fun. Not fun. This is not really letting me. Huh? Come on. It's okay. I will get this working. Full screen. Full screen. Okay, that's about the best I can do. Let us take a picture of this. Okay. So let's see if we can find more of the story here. I'm going to use white for right now, a white thin pen, and we're going to start drawing. Okay, so you had your change of behavior here. This didn't hold. We went on the underside of it, and you had a few days to respond to it. Okay, this was your change of behavior, all at these same prices. Okay, this was part of, let's see, let's look at those pictures. That plan right there, B. Okay, option B, when we hit option B, the underside became D. When you have this underside movement here, it's option D. We'd be looking for a move down to there. Let's see if, and that's basically where we're at right now. We have the move to the underside, option D, down here with some support. Okay, you guys see that? Take your angle, gives you the new angle underneath the angle, option D. Okay, that's where you're at on the map. Edit, markup. Okay. Furthermore, there's some other points we can identify on here. Take your angle. You can take a mid phantom. Draw it out. And this is going to cross over here approximately, or leave price here, and get you some resistances there, and the new sword cut. New resistances to beat this now is pretty sharp. It's really extreme. It's really extreme. There, that's the angle to beat, which is good because we're coming close to it. So we can see price beats this, we should be going back up to sword cut. Then price will have to beat that, come to the underside of here, beat that, come up to the top of this sword cut here. This is your major points to watch out for right now. Was there infinity angles? No, I don't really see any, but I did see some of these cores that have become that are here, and I'll show you. And the reason I'm drawing those cores is because my eyes can see core, link to core, link to core, link to this wick. So this is absolutely there. There's other ones that are just kind of going slightly upwards, I think. And that's that one right there. So let's draw that both as well. Oops. Okay, and that gives you your support. Okay. Do we have any other questions about Safemoon at the moment? Thank you, says April. No problem, April. I want you guys understanding. Look at price, watch your behavior. It will tell you what your options are, and generally you're going to have time to respond. Plenty of time to respond. Based on sword cuts, in my experience, you always got a few days, almost always, especially if you're drawing on the daily chart. You'll know what's going on. Once price went below here, you're like, something's not right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's why I like giving you guys, especially when I'm not so clear or the option is not clear, I'll give you guys all your options. And all you have to do is just keep watching that map. And, it's like you're watching the canoe, you're watching a boat, right? The boat's traveling, and just say this is the front of the boat, okay? And you're going through the river. And here's the river, and the water's on both sides, right? You got your paddle out. Okay, paddling along. You're standing up here in the middle of the boat, smiling, and you see the water's going two ways. You see the water going this way, you see the water going that way. And you'll have the map in front of you, and you start seeing you're going this direction, and your boat starts going over there. You already know you crossed the intersection. So why the heck are you still, you know, here's the ridge, right? Here's the mountain, and you're already down here downstream. Why in the world would you think once you crossed over, let's say this is a tree up here. Once you're in this territory over here, why would you think it's possible to come back? There must have been a reason the water was flowing this way, because it makes it much more difficult to paddle backwards and go there. So once you cross over major points, it tells you what's happening with the water, because you don't know where all the turns are at, but you do know where some of the turns are at, but you don't know which direction the wind and the waves are going to take you. But if the waves take you this way, you know that it's much more difficult to go back the opposite way. In this case, you may have, as we're coming down, you may have saying, "Oh, I'm hoping for a bounce," right? You're hoping for a bounce. You don't know if the wind or the waves are going to take you this way or they're going to take you that way. You don't know, right? But once they take you one way, it makes it very much more difficult to get back on the right side of price, because you almost have to travel upstream again. You need another setup just to get back correctly. And when you don't have it and you drift through, you're like, "Oh man, we missed our turn. We missed our turn." And now price is coming up. You may be at that line, but you already understand the behavior because you know where that intersection was. You know where the junction was. It was here on the water, and in price, it's here. And when you see price coming up and doing this behavior, you're coming down. Somebody says, "Oh, we're going up today." And you're like, guys, I don't think so, because look at this. Why would we have come down in here? You know, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible that the whole Bitcoin thing, you know, but we were coming down to begin with. So this one should have responded here, and we didn't. We just kind of drifted through. I don't think that was Bitcoin. I don't think that was Bitcoin manipulation. We just drifted through this line. So this was not strength. It should have held, and it didn't. So that tells you something very, very odd. And then the shortcut's created. And then you come on the underside and you're like, guys, something's odd. And then the next, and so then we start going down and you're able to draw the new resistance line. So if we face through here, that's a little bit bullish and gives you some hope, but only to about right there. Otherwise, if this red line holds, then you're even more, weak. Okay, you're even more weak. And you can also measure some of these cores as well, which gives you a clue about what's happening. Here you can see that you're on the let me draw real quick. Nope, I don't have any of that. This would have become infinity flats. Nope, not yet. We're still within this channel here, but you can start seeing the channel closing on you. So that's good. That gives you a finite time, because those channels come to a point sometime in the future, and it's not much longer. So that's something to be aware of. Okay, do we have any other questions regarding Safemoon? Hold on, guys, I'm logged out. I can't see your questions. One moment. Screen timed out. All right. Safemoon was part of the Bitmart CAC. Oh, they were doing well. But outside sources, yeah, possibly. Understand. Okay. Any others we want to cover before today's class is over? We're almost about at time. We can look through it, especially if it's one we've already done. We might be able to cover it real quickly, but you like my little drawing? I draw better than that, guys. I swear. I swear. Theta, if possible. Yeah, let's run through Theta real quick. And then we'll end the class for this morning. And I'm going to get some yummy breakfast. T-Fuel is weak. We're on the underside of this channel. It's where we should. T-Fuel is a little weak at the moment for us to cross through here. Last week we pierced through, so that was not a fluke. We may go all the way down to here on T-Fuel. 0.16 currently this week is at approximately 0.18 cents. There's possible support there. Theta. Let me write down one. Safemoon T-Fuel. Theta. Theta has a little bit more hope. Theta has a little bit more hope. We are at a sword cut. We stopped in that range, but we had a big move down. And this should have been on the same day that Bitcoin crashed. Yep, same darn thing. Without that Bitcoin crash, we were still on top of the world. But we needed a break above this line. That has not really changed. I'm going to show you where this is, and we're going to just draw it so everyone can have it. Okay. This red line right there, that's where we're looking for a price to break. Currently, if it did it today, it's very high at $6.67. We were close. We are not now. We are not now. There are infinity flats from here to here. Let me see if there was some here. Yep. There is infinity flats on this chart here. Okay, and I'm gonna show you where they are real quick. Where this yellow line is, those become flats at the source, which is here and here. So if I were to trick the ruler, you can see some support would be along that line and along this line. However, if you take the cores and you also draw them as their infinity flats, you have more verification. So they're the more one that's likely to hold, and I'll show you why. This is more of a steeper angle, and then that would become a flat at here, which you got some little bit, and a lot of bit. And then finally became a resistance. Ooh, this started, the movement on both sides was really reverberating into the future. It's pretty interesting. That was very interesting. Okay, so now look for this one to play a part as well, which is its counterpart. This is its buddy. Okay, that's where you came. From here, we pushed all the way back up. Do you see that? So let's draw those two on price itself. Okay, got it? Theta possible good prices are coming more. Yeah. Right now, I don't see that much good prices until we beat it, but we are on some supports and in the middle of this sword cut that held last time. Is a chance we could come again this time. Okay, but we're waiting for a break above this line here, which let's just make it yellow so you can see it's relevant. But we need a break above there, and we're currently sitting there. All right. All right, and I'll get my camera fixed today, guys. But I want to thank you guys up, and I hope you guys have a good day at your work, at your jobs. If you have a job, wherever you're at in the world, taking care of your families, taking care of your loved ones. Let me say a quick prayer. Oh Lord, we thank you for today, giving us another morning that we wake up with breath in our lungs. We are nothing but filthy rags, but you clothed us with garments of salvation. You lifted us up from the ashes, and who are we but just mere fleeting vapor? We were just a flower in the field that is here today and gone tomorrow, and yet you chose to love us. You chose to bless us. You chose to come into our lives. Please transform our lives, and let our lives be transformed through your Spirit, through your Holy Spirit, through your burning fire. And I pray that you would just fill us up with your Spirit today, and let us live godly lives more and more every day. Let us walk closer to you, Lord. Let us follow you. Let us be a witness. Let us be people that can be your resources. I thank you for all those who are here with me and those who are watching this even on YouTube through the copy. And I pray that you would just let them have fantastic days and take care of their families and get us through these dark times politically, through all the mandates and through everything that's happened. Get us through, Lord. And that's my prayer. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you, Superfood. And thank you, Francisco. Thank you. Melody Song. I love you. See you at the DOGE PM. Yep, there's the DOGE PM tonight. We'll be covering other cryptos tonight. One day I want to have a list of all the ones, but I like to stay flexible lately because everyone has requests sometimes, and I'm like, if I can do your request, I'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, guys, have a great day. Eat some good breakfast if you haven't eaten already. Here, for me, it's 10 a.m. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Your voice is so cute. Sorry. You still have a question, April, by any chance? Just in case. Let me cue that outro music just in case.